Market Intelligence Report for July 28, 2026. Based on the last 24 hours. Overall risk score, 7 out of 10, elevated. Overall opportunity score, 6 out of 10, constructive under the noise. Geopolitical and macroeconomics, status, fragile pause impact, high. United States and Iran held fire for a third day while mediators push talks, but messaging split hard. Washington says Iran is asking for meetings. Tehran says it has not. That gap means markets are pricing hope, not a sealed deal. Energy did the loud work. Brent slid into the mid-80s to high 80s, roughly an 11% unwind from the war premium zone near the mid-90s. Gold held near about $4,049. Cheaper oil eases inflation optics into Fed week. The Red Sea and choke point talk stayed live, and a Netanyahu visit to Washington keeps the wider Iran track on the desk. Ukraine and Russia kept trading strikes. Pause is not peace. Key takeaway: oil relief is real. The diplomacy story is still unfinished and can reprice risk overnight. Monitor: Hormuz and Red Sea transit, Iran talk gap headlines, Brent holding the mid-80s versus any kinetic restart. General crypto market, status, pressured impact, high. Bitcoin slipped from the mid-64s toward about $63,200 into Asia, still roughly half the about $126,000 all-time high. Ether near $1,877. XRP near $1.06. Solana near $73. Soft beta into a Fed decision week is not a full risk-on reopen. Spot Bitcoin ETF tape stayed thin after the heavy midweek hit. About $225.1 million out on 23 July and about $240.1 million on 24 July. Monday 27 July first print was only about $2.8 million net out and still incomplete on big sleeves, near flat, not a confirmed repair day. Liquidations ran about $573 million across roughly 151,000 accounts in 24 hours. Strategy skipped fresh Bitcoin buys and bought back about $25 million of STRC. Bitmine kept stacking Ether. Leverage got cleaned. Institutional bid for spot BTC stayed soft. Stellar dropped its Q2 2026 quarterly report and teed a live breakdown webinar Thursday 30 July at 3 p.m. Eastern. Ripple Mint for institutional lust remains the last major product print on that rail. Rails news still ships under a weak price tape. Overall, price is soft, flows are thin, and leverage already paid a bill. Infrastructure headlines are doing more work than beta. Consider: treat $62,000 to $65,000 as the near-term battlefield into oil calm and Fed messaging. Not a victory lap. Traditional finance plus crypto convergence. Status: constructive impact, high. South Korea's KB Cookman still targets an August United States dollar cross-border launch on JP Morgan Kinexys for import and export clients across about 10 countries. Big bank distribution beats poster token chatter when it actually clears. Russia's Sberbank keeps a December path for crypto trading infrastructure under the new licensed intermediary stack. EDX Markets about $76 million Series C thickens the institutional-only venue and clearing story. Ondo unveiled the Ondo network after its Oasis Pro ARM 1 SEC clearance for tokenized United States equities, a real issuance to distribution step. Circle minted about $500 million of USDC on Solana in 2 large tranches. Securitize expanding with an SEC advisor license adds another compliance-grade node. eToro took a strategic stake in on-chain perps venue extended with a self-custody path nearby. Robinhood chain Uniswap volume racing past about $10 billion inside a month shows where retail-adjacent access layer flow is concentrating. Overall, banks and tokenized security issuers advance while spot beta digests oil, ETFs, and Fed risk. Consider: follow go-lives and mint cadence more than press release counts. Regulatory developments. Status: calendar-blocked impact, very high. United States market structure took a clear floor hit. Senate leadership is running nominations and a Russia sanctions bill before clarity can grab disputed time. Funeral bandwidth crowds the midweek further. Preliminary clarity could still slip in next week before summer recess, or slide to September. Delay is the policy signal. Clarity year-end signed into law odds sit near about 37.5%, far below earlier highs near 75%. Senators are still pressing for an on-record floor vote. State anti-fraud pushback is loud. Compressed odds are discounting process failure more than bill substance alone. Fed week is live. July hike odds near about 27% keep duration and liquidity stress on the board even as oil eases. DeFi packaging remains under registration heat in commissioner commentary. Thailand filed a criminal complaint against BitCub and former directors over a prior undisclosed about $47 million hack. Compliance scars stay global. Overall, recess math and Q clutter dominate 2026 United States market structure odds right now. Consider, watch next week's preliminary window and whether odds break out of the high 30s range. DEFI and RWA tokenization. Status. Split tape impact. High. Access layer stress is the tax. SummerFi is winding down after exploit pressure. Storage Chapter 11 joins a cluster of venue and project stress weeks as capital competes with AI. Bitmart friction and prior wind-down paths remain user fund watch items. Constructive side is real. Lido's biggest core upgrade since V2 adds Ether-backed operator bonds and validator consolidation. Near's path to burn all gas instead of rebating developers tightens fee design. Ondo Network plus Circle Solana Mint are the clean RWA and stablecoin prints. Carry-forward scars still matter. Odo's 30 July withdraw path, bridge key history, and client exits from stressed venues. Institutional tokenization advanced. Solvent sunsets and exploit cleanups keep the confidence tax live. Overall, RWA and staking rails build while weak access layers exit, separate those stories. Consider, prefer structures with clear custody, bonds, and regulated issuance over yield theater. AI and blockchain. Status, infrastructure race impact, very high. A scale talk got extreme. Reporting put NVIDIA around about $250 billion of funding guarantee talks tied to a massive OpenAI-related data center power path in Ohio, while states push back on data center build. Power and chips are the new bottleneck headlines. NVIDIA and Microsoft launched an open secure AI alliance with other industrial names, notably without OpenAI, Google, or Anthropic, to share open-source security tools. China's open weight push stays hot. Sovereign models and open tooling are competing theaters. On-chain agent rails are not theory only. Base crossed about 100 million AI payments framing, with USDC and payment standards in the sales pitch. Quantum timelines keep pressuring the idea that governance speed may matter as much as cryptography. Overall, hyperscale compute, open security alliances, and agent payment rails are multi-year infrastructure and same-week inputs when chips or rates gap. Consider, track agent settlement standards and open tooling drops, not just model demo hype. Prediction markets. Status. Structural win plus product fight impact. High. Federal preemption scored. A Minnesota federal judge issued a preliminary injunction blocking the state's first-in-nation felony ban on prediction markets just days before the August 1st effective date, after the CFTC sued and major platforms joined. The law would have made operating or advertising these venues a felony with years of prison exposure. Fanatics bought a CFTC-registered exchange and clearing stack to list and settle its own event contracts. Distribution architecture, not only odds screens. The NFL is pushing the CFTC toward stricter sports event contract rules on age, ads, and gaming definitions. Clarity year-end odds near about 37.5% absorbed the Senate delay. Fed hike odds near about 27% show the same venue's pricing policy and macro besides sports. Overall, state bans lost a round. Listing discipline and sports league letters are the next fight. Consider, watch injunction durability and who actually lists clean, non-template event products. Risk/opportunity analysis. Based on the last 24 hours, overall risk score, 7 out of 10, elevated. Overall opportunity score, 6 out of 10, constructive under the noise. Risks, Iran pause can fail fast. Talk gap denial, choke point rhetoric, and political visits reprice oil and risk assets. Bitcoin soft near 63,200 with about $573 million of liquidations and a still thin ETF bid after about $465+ million of midweek outflows. Clarity parked behind Russia sanctions and recess clutter. Largest near-term United States market structure setback on this cut. Fed hike odds near about 27%, reopen duration stress even as oil eases. A venue and protocol stress cluster, SummerFi, Storage, Bitmart path, keeps an integrity tax on retail rails. Opportunities? Oil into the mid/high 80s removes some stagflation optics that were crushing risk appetite. Rails keep shipping. Cookman, Kinex's August path, Spurbank December crypto infra, EDX Series C, Ondo Network after SEC tokenized equity clearance, circles $500 million Solana USDC mint, Stellar Q2 plus 30 July webinar. Prediction markets won a federal injunction and Fanatics is buying regulated exchange rails. If a pre-recess preliminary clarity window still opens, about 37.5% year-end odds retain upside convexity. Compressed, not zero. Recommendations. Short-term, 1 to 4 weeks. Track Bitcoin versus $62,000 to $65,000 against oil in the mid-80s, and any Iran kinetic restart confirm the next complete United States spot Bitcoin ETF session after the incomplete Monday print. Listen for Fed week language on oil shock versus hike odds near 27%. Watch client fund paths on stressed venues and the stellar 30 July webinar substance. Midterm, 1 to 3 months. Follow pre-recess clarity steps versus September slip and year-end odds versus about 37.5% measure KB Cookman go live quality. Ondo Network issuance cadence, Circle Solana mint share track Minnesota injunction durability, Fanatics exchange build, and sports event contract rule heat monitor genius path versus the about 18 January 2027 effective date math. Long-term, 6 to 12 months. Favor bank-distributed and comparable regime stablecoins over pure hype stables. Prefer tokenized securities with real transfer agent and advisor rails built around multi-jurisdiction RWA settlement and stake-aware prediction venues with clean product filings. Watch open agent identity and payment standards with hardened containment over oil spike price theater. Risk warnings. Warning: high risk/structural. Geopolitical premium can return in a single session if the Iran pause breaks. Crypto beta can still gap hard on thin ETF bid and leverage resets. United States market structure bills can slip entire seasons on calendar math alone. Smart contract, venue, and custody failures continue even while RWA headlines improve. Regulatory enforcement and state-federal fights can slow product distribution after headline wins. Key metrics TO watch. Bitcoin band, $62,000 to $65,000. Spot Bitcoin ETF daily net after 23/24 July outflows and 27 July near flat incomplete print. Brent/WTI mid-80s to high 80s, Hormuz and Red Sea transit. Clarity year-end odds near 37.5%. Pre-recess floor window. Fed week hike odds near 27% and share language on supply shock. Circle Solana USDC mint cadence. Ondo Network flow. KB Cookman August launch scope, Stellar Q2 metrics and 30 July webinar, Ripple mint/Relust follow-through, Minnesota injunction appeals, Fanatics CFTC exchange build, SummerFi/Bitmart/Storage/Odo's client paths, the base agentic payment metrics and OpenAI Security Alliance tool drops. This is not financial advice. This has been your daily market intelligence report for the July 28, 2026.